Look, I haven't watched Destiny, so I don't know what to do for the opening bit. Let's just roll the intro and get into the review, alright? Hello and welcome back to another Gunpla review. Today we're taking a look at the High Grade Cosmic Era Dagger L from Gundam Seed Destiny. And starting off as always with the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and look back that far, and forward that far, as well as a full rotation. The shoulders are on a forward hinge, as well as a ball joint. There's an outward hinge, which combined with the polycap gets way more than 90 degrees. There's of course a rotation at the bicep, you get full bend at the elbow, and the hands, as always, are on a ball joint. The waist is a little tight on mine, but you get a tilt side to side, as well as back and forward. It's not crazy, but it is nice. As well as a rotation at the waist. The front skirts are ball jointed. They are connected, but it's easy enough to split them. Side skirts are on a hinge, as well as a swivel. Back skirt is solid, as usual. The hips have a side-to-side rock, which means you can get a kick all the way up, as far back as the armor will allow, as well as pretty much a full splits, because you can just move the hip skirt out of the way. Aside from that, there is a thigh swivel for just over 180 degrees. A full bend at the knee. The ankles can go pretty far forward and pretty far backwards, and have a decent tilt. So overall, the dagger's articulation is pretty great. Now moving on to accessories, I would go over the sticker sheet, but there is none. So let's just get into the color correction. The dagger actually isn't that bad. A little bit of gray for the chest vulcans, some gray for this vernier, a little bit of black in here, a red trim on the leg verniers, black on the toes, and the gray on the feet. There is a little bit more paint that goes on it, but it's on the accessories. Speaking of the accessories, these are the only hands you get. Just left and right holding hands, which isn't a huge deal, but I would like more hand options. And before we get into the painted accessories, let's just quickly talk about these. The little beam sabers. You do get the newer style beam effects with this, that just plugs in nice and securely, and these just slot into the hands and are held perfectly fine. And as you see, there's just little tabs on the side skirts that hold them fairly well, honestly. It's a little bit annoying to get it lined up while we're recording, but they stay on pretty well. You can't really knock them off easily. But getting into the accessories that require paint, we have the beam rifle, and the paint is the blue in the scope. Thankfully, the white is a hollow piece, and the part that's painted is actually the peg that holds it on, so it's pretty smart part usage there. I'm quite impressed by that engineering. Now, in order to put this into the hand, you do have the little sort of spike on the bottom, so you do have to pop the back off. And it's held really securely in the hand. There's no wiggle here at all. And the final accessory is the shield, which actually has better color separation than the Windam, because this red is not a sticker on this one, unlike the Windam shield. That said, you do still have to paint the gray on the inside, but hey, that's not that big a deal. And this actually attaches on in kind of an interesting way. It sort of has this clip that slides down the blue armor piece on the arm, which is a little bit fiddly, but actually attaches on really securely, so can't really complain. This is attached on via a ball joint, and there's two on the clip piece, so you can attach it onto the back if you want. I prefer having it on the side. I think it looks better overall. But hey, the option's there, and you get a ton of posability on that, so you can pretty much get it in whatever pose you want. And of course, it's also compatible with the Striker Pack system. The only one I have on hand is the Windams, but sits perfectly fine. Not really much more to say. Also, I do want to quickly go over the fact that you do get quite a few leftover parts. A couple of polycaps, just neck and a ball joint, but it does actually reuse the entire Sea Runner of the Strike Gundam, meaning you get a lot of leftover parts from the legs, as well as the chest, the shoulders, the crotch. There's a lot of parts left over on this. And as for a quick size comparison, the Dagger L is pretty much average height for this style of grunt suit. I mean, it's based on the Strike Gundam, so of course it's going to be about the same height. So to wrap this review up, the Dagger L is a pretty exceptional kit. Even with the minor bit of painting I had to put into it for it to be completely color accurate, it looks great even without it. I mean, both the front and back cameras are separated on the head. You don't see that often. The excellent color separation combined with the pretty impressive articulation, granted most of the joints are taken from the Strike Gundam, but this kit is all around just a really solid grunt suit, and if you like grunts, I fully recommend picking this up. It is absolutely worth the price. Anyway, that's all for this review. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, helps a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell for future reviews. Go follow me on Twitter for updates. And consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep making reviews just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.